in the same thing.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White. I am your host today on Wounded to Wonderful and Keeping It Real. Today, you are in a destination to know the real people that do the real things, that talk about real things. And we have two special guests. I love them dearly ever since I've met them. And today we're going to be talking about something that's really dear to my heart, and I think theirs too, spirituality and religion, but it's during the pandemic. And we're going to discuss that topic and get really into it. So let's delve into who you are today, my guests.
My name is Brenda Simmons, and I'm going to make a joke. We're going to be real to real. I don't really know how to really introduce myself, besides that I am an advocate in the village of Southampton. I am rejourneying as we speak, and I love people, and I love my community, and I love you too, Edna.
I love you. I really do.
Okay, I am Pamela O'Donnelly. I am a holistic health coach. I'm the founder of Return to Eden Holistic Health Corp. And I help people get back into shape and heal their bodies through holistic means and through not loosely, but built on the principles of the Bible. So, and I enjoy helping people, and I love meeting wonderful people like you two, lovely ladies. And I look forward to our discussion.
Great. So we know that we're experiencing the pandemic. We're still kind of in it, but not in it, sort of. And we just had a long discussion about what's going on. Let's take apart spirituality and religion. And I really want to.
Oops.
What?
What happened?
No, you're here. You're still
with us. We still see you.
You're still with us.
My screen acted crazy. Okay, there we go.
Okay, oh Lord. So we want to take apart, let's just start with religion, because, you know, religion, as we all know, we all have been in religion, and I want to hear about, you know, what religion to you. Let's talk about that first. What is religion? Let's talk about that.
Well, just talking about my experience for religion, we're going to be real today, as we said.
Absolutely.
I was brought up in the church, and I believe, you know, looking back, I believe I'm thankful for the principles, and it geared me to really read the Bible and read the word for myself, because there was things going on in the church that didn't set right with my spirit, and I didn't understand it. I didn't really grasp what was going on, but it seemed to be, for my look at it, is like people had to feel like they needed to get a position in the church, and that was a big thing, to have a position in the church. Mm-hmm. And there was a hierarchy, and then there were people that were, you know, in competition. Mm-hmm. So my experience with religion, and I'm not going to go into it, I'll let Pam answer her question with this, is that it was very, it has pros and cons. I guess that's the best way for me to leave that at this point.
Okay, what is religion to me? Religion is not a relationship with God. It is.
Tweet everybody. Tweet.
It is a system that, to me, it's more man-made than God-made. I personally don't understand. I'm sorry?
That was really good.
Thank you. But it is really, to me, religion is man taking the word of God and putting his own spin on it. And, you know, why we have different congregations, why we have Methodists, Baptists, all. I personally don't, the more I got into the word, I don't fully understand that, because if we all believe in the same Lord and that he rose again on the third day, you know, what is the division? It's very clear what the word says. There should be one body, one united body under the head of Christ. So religion to me is systems put in place where it's more based on what we're doing to get the approval of God, instead of being in a relationship with God. It's not by works, it's by relationship. So that's the difference for me with religion.
Okay. For me, I think, well, my experience and religion in general, for me, was very confusing.
Understandably.
Because I was drawing closer to the people and very far from God.
Good point.
Real realization of who he was. I only had the idea that he was somewhere out there and behind closed eyes. So I didn't have I didn't know that he was internal. And learning then later on in having something happen to me in my body, I learned that it wasn't nothing external, had nothing to do with anything external. It had to do with internal. And also that when someone's preaching to you, they're testifying, they're preaching, they're telling you their journey, not yours. So that was the biggest take from all of that. Me, I don't even believe the principles were there because I didn't understand them. And until I stepped back from the religious part of it, did I gain the principles. Like I saw them for what they really, they were fluid. They were, they were clear because I was totally confused, all of it. Like, even like Brenda says, even, with the way people act, it's like, I thought they were supposed to love you. And they were mean and ornery and nasty and very confrontational, and everything was a competition. And I was like, didn't seem normal to me as I got older. It didn't feel normal. But I went to church because I was broken, and no one had enough sense to say to me, you don't belong here. You belong in a doctor's office. You belong with a therapist. No one was strong enough to tell me that, or didn't have the information to tell me that. So for me, religion, because I even when I was younger, I drew to other religions. I studied under Jewish religion. I went to Buddhist temples. I really like hungry to know what was the difference. And honestly, there is no difference. It's just said in a different way, presented in a different package, and it's just the same. It floored me when I went to China and found out that Confucius lived the same way Jesus did. And I'm like, what? I thought USA had the patent on this. What are you talking about? I was floored. I couldn't. And they was like, wait, why would you think that? Everyone has a savior. And they said that to me. And here I am. I'm the evangelist. Dang, all that. And I'm like, and I'm in tears because I'm like, this can't be true. Like, this can't be true. And they said, no, we believe in God. We just don't talk about him like America does. It's like, ooh, got put in my place. They literally told me God gives us everything we need from inside. We just got to put it into effect. And that really hurt my feelings. I thought I had the patent. Like I really did. Thought I had the patent on getting to heaven. Then I was like, and so of course, the person I am, I said to them, so do you believe in heaven and hell? And the person looked at me and they said, do you believe you can have a bad or a good day? And I started crying again. I was like, this is really making me, this is confusing. This is not, it wasn't confusing me. It rang true to me almost. And then I was like, I think it was my ego. Like, no, you're not going to. I was crying because I was mad that I thought I had it like all figured out. And that kind of threw me. So now I'm looking and respecting religions where they are, because a lot of the religions don't force themselves on you. There's only certain ones, but when it's peaceable, when religion is peaceable, they're on certain principles. When it's peaceable, it's not forcible. So that's what my experience was with religion. So that was really deep. I'm about to cry now. I'm getting all emotional.
Can I just add something if you don't mind?
Sure, absolutely.
What came to me as you were talking was the fact that I'm going to say two words: brainwash and cult.
Oh, yeah. Look at Pam's face. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
But those are the two things that I'm thinking of when you were saying that. You're saying that you were so kind of upset because we were so ingrained that this is what it is and there's no other way, and that's just how it is, and that's the thing I think that was, like I said, it was something about, I'm thankful for, I was very young, and even in Sunday school I would raise my hand and ask certain questions because certain things I wasn't sure about, or it didn't seem right to me. And I was always told more or less, this is what we say, this is what we believe in, and whatever. And then I was bold enough to even ask, could you show it to me in the Bible? Then of course, then I was Jezebel and all kinds of things. And I individually, I ended up leaving. But, it was just very interesting when I look back on it. It was so many times I would sit there and it was just something that just wasn't right, and I couldn't figure it out, and I'm trying to be obedient. I was raised in the church, and this is the way you do, and I want to be pleasing to God, but it was just something about that whole thing. But like I said, I feel still that it was the pros and cons because it led me to really begin to read the word for myself.
Yeah.
I had the concordance and all this kind of things, and I decided to go and visit other places as well, and I began to see some truth, and then some error, obviously.
Right. I was looking for the equilibrium in it all. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for I wasn't
the common thread.
Yeah, the common thread, and I found it. Wow, it's all about God. It's all about God. No matter if we heard about Christ, that's great, and Christ brings us to God. If Confucius brought them to God, I can't question that. It's because we're not in the same origin, or we read the scriptures, right? We read the scriptures, and we have to remember where the scriptures and who wrote the scriptures and where they were. We don't really apply that most of the time. We don't think, okay, this is a Hebrew nation, and this is what they were, this is what was going on at that time. We don't like that. We read it. We don't take those things where they were, what time it was, and what they were assigned to do. We don't think like that. And when I thought about that, we do all of what we were, what I was experiencing, I was like, wow, this rings true. It's all leading to the same place, to an experience with God. It's all leading to that, an experience with God, a journey with God. That's why the walk with, that footsteps picture that everybody says, person never figured it out until I figured it out. Because God was already inside. He wasn't carrying us. He was inside of us. We were walking. And that's what I figured out. I was like, wow, it makes total sense. We just got to listen to his guiding, where he's telling us to go, but it makes total sense. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that understanding. What do you think, Pam?
My experience was a little different. I didn't grow up in the church. And I actually was exploring everything prior, like psychic things, new age things. I was very heavily involved with, or getting heavily involved with. Quran. I was seeking the Jewish religion. I actually grew up in Great Neck, where I have a great affinity to that. Yeah. But I was seeking and I was searching, and I dabbled in a bunch of different things, and I came to my faith and belief as I was older. And although I totally relate to what you were saying about the church and how people presented themselves in the country, it took me quite some time after getting saved to conclude something's not right, something's not, because at first I was just so overjoyed. You know how it is when you first get.
Absolutely.
But then when I started realizing it wasn't making sense, and then you're getting wounded, and on the offenses and all this stuff goes on, I pulled back and I started getting into the word. And that, asking God to reveal himself to you, because no one should be condemning anybody else for their faith. Nobody should be, we walk in love with each other.